agenda under presentation for the introduction of the Sustainable Maryland Flat Plan. Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Now we need to adopt the agenda. I'll accept the motion to adopt the revised agenda.
So moved.
Can I get a second? Second. All in favor? Aye.
I gave the first.
Yes.
Waiters.
Waiters gave the first aye. And Oscar seconded, and all in favor. Okay, so let's move on down to presentation. I know that this is what y'all came to see, right? Can I get my two brand new officers to the Town of Fairmount Heights front and center, please?
And the big holy Bible. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is the Lord's drawing while we are.
Is this a good spot, Mr. Brown? Am I in the right spot? That's right, this is a good position, right? All right, so we're going to swear you to God then. Repeat after me. I, and say your name.
Tomorrow,
Do solemnly promise
do solemnly promise
and declare
and declare
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
and that I will be faithful
and I will be faithful
and bear true alliance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of Maryland,
to the state of Maryland,
and support the Constitution
and support the Constitution
and laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
to the best of my skill and judgment,
diligently
diligently
and faithfully,
and faithfully,
without partiality
without partiality
or
or
prejudice,
prejudice,
execute the office of police officer
execute the office of police officer
for the town of Fairmount Heights, Maryland,
for the town of Fairmount Heights, Maryland,
according to the Constitution and the laws of the state.
according to the Constitution and the law of the state. Thank you.
So it wasn't just the little hand, you couldn't do it with your big hand too. Congratulations. I don't know what it is. It's like all right, everybody good? All right, the officer, chief, and the council,
Years up, no?
Yes, sir.
Back move in, everybody move in a little bit, so I get everybody the same, give it a nice smile. You got it? Okay. Come on, verify she took that picture. Look right here,
Stand up, sir.
Thank y'all for coming out. I really appreciate all y'all support. Always, y'all always show love. Thank y'all. Y'all be safe out there tight, or home working, whatever you're doing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Thank you guys for coming to take off this.
All right, how you? Good to see you. Yep.
Sir, just close the door when y'all go out so we don't get disturbed. Okay. Thank you, council, for taking those pictures with us. So the next presentation we're going to do is present the Sustainable Maryland plaque to all the members that was on the Sustainable Maryland team. Ms. Aroni?
Okay. We do not have one of our team members here, but we have a new member. We have Rodney Cumberland who's here. Thank you for coming. It is truly my honor to present this Sustainable Maryland certification to our current mayor and to our former Mayor Martin, our former Mayor Saxton, and to former Mayor and Councilor Williams. Okay, would you all please come forward so we can take a picture and so I can present the Sustainable Maryland Certification 2024 Bronze Award. All right. 275 points. Along with the points come resources, grants, and money to assist us. So I really want to thank all of you who worked with me since I've been here to make this happen.
All right. Okay, so we're going to move down the agenda to legislation. And under legislation was the ARPA plan. I have it here for the council signature that we already voted on. I think it was, December to approve the reallocation. It was December, I'm trying to get my calendar straight. December 10th, I believe. Is that the correct date, Madam Clerk? No, December... Madam Clerk, what was the date we voted for this, the reallocation of the ARPA funds? December 10th. So I will sign and pass it along for all the council to sign the form. St. John, sign and pass down, please. All right, and as that's being signed, I would like to go into the report section of our agenda. Police Department Chief.
citizens of Fairmount Heights. My report is going to be brief. I'm not sure if last month we got to touch on the coat and toy drive that was well participated in. I know you were out of town, but I know you got the pictures and the word from the community that it was an overwhelming success. Now I do plan on trying to double up the request of next year for our coats. We ended up giving out a little over 250 coats at the coat drive. And we gave out every toy that we had. We didn't get a count on the toys, but everything we had, we gave away. And the event was from 3 to 6, and we were done by 4:30.
Wow.
And people still coming. I really appreciate everybody. Even if you couldn't make it, your support leading up to the event was greatly needed and appreciated. Fairmount Heights Lodge number 92, Mike, he came down and donated some stuff. I really appreciate him and the support that the Lodge gives this town when we request it. And then the other, the NOBLE, National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, they came out and supported, and they donated the food for everybody who was working that day, so they fed us after we were done. And that was a contribution from them. So again, I thank everybody for that. I'm gonna be brief on my report. As up until today, we have 22 calls for service in the town, 14 of them by Fairmount Heights Police Department, 8 by County Police, 0 from the sheriffs. And we have 4 lockups, 10 vehicle impounds. Crime overall in Prince George's County is down 35%, which is an all-time high. Part of that is some of the laws that got changed a few months ago, holding people accountable, when they get locked up. A lot of the crime, 85% of the crime that was happening were committed by repeat offenders. So if you keep the repeat offenders in jail, then the crime rate goes down. And even if it's to their court dates, normally they were getting out in a day or two and they were right back on their crime sprees. But now they're being held at least till they go to court to see if they can make bond, or up until their trial dates, which is happening at this point. I had a meeting with State's Attorney Aisha Bravoy yesterday, and her commitment and dedication to helping us municipalities along with the county fight this crime and any tools that we may need. I've also met with Chief Aziz as well and Sheriff Carr in reference to added support to not just our town, but all the municipalities. We are working hard together to try to keep this crime rate down because it benefits all of us. The only other things I'm going to touch on is the stop sign program that we talked about at work session yesterday, just so the residents and the people in attendance know that we are doing a pilot program here in the town of Fairmount Heights in reference to people who are purposely running through stop signs, and it's getting very dangerous. At one stop sign, we had 52 vehicles approach the stop sign. 49 of them ran through the stop sign without stopping. 49 vehicles out of 52, and we have it all on video. Some of it was showed last night on the work session. So we are continuing to move around. We have 3 more locations that we're going to be monitoring. Over the next couple of months, you'll see us put out more information in reference to the program that we're doing, letting people know. You'll see signs posted up telling people to drive safer. We'll have literature going out to the houses about being careful, stopping at stop signs. Everything we can do within our power to try to get the word out to be safer coming through our town. That's the approach that we're taking. So Avio is the vendor. We have I have a brief meeting with them on Friday, this in reference to that literature and stuff that needs to come out, and they've been a great partner to work with so far. It's 2 other municipalities who are already a little bit further than us in this process, and that's Comar Manor and Morningside. But there are another 5 or 6 municipalities who are in the same level we are as far as gathering the data to try to make their town safer. So I think that's what we're all put into these positions to make life livable and safer, and do the best we can do from our side, and I think we are doing it. And I thank you for the support from everybody here in the town for supporting this program. And then next up on the agenda is speed cameras. Speed cameras coming through the town. If you notice, the last couple of days, you may have seen our officers sitting on Sheriff Road and Addison Road with radar, clocking the speed, watching the speed of people coming down through the town. Sheriff Road is a roller coaster. It's an absolute roller coaster, and it's a danger until we get some type of enforcement going now. So speed camera program will be our next program that we are diving right into. We're gonna hit the ground running with that, and hopefully we can get there soon. So that concludes my report.
Does anybody have any questions for the chief? Does anybody have any questions? You gotta be recognized. Councilman Oscar?
Any updates of the ladies that happened on J Street?
So the only information that came in reference to the shooting on J Street is that the individual was targeted. It wasn't just a random shooting coming through the community. And what we did find out that 29 of those rounds came from a .45 caliber handgun, and 6 of them came from a 9mm handgun. So there were 2 guns fired. So they're trying to determine whether that individual had a weapon as well, or that guy had 2 guns, which is highly unlikely. He came out, he didn't try to rob him, he didn't try to chase him, he got out and started shooting right at that individual. So the key is that .45 caliber handgun that was used that night was also linked to a homicide in DC and another shooting in DC a year ago. So that's where we are with it. That's all that I can talk about as far as the ongoing investigation piece.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody else have any other questions for the chief? Yes.
Okay.
Does the council have any more questions for the chief?
I had a comment.
Councilwoman Waiters?
I had a comment, and I wanted to push pause because we were in the work session last night, and we gave kudos to public works. And so in doing so, there's so many kudos that were being given, and it was council to take up time in all due respect. I wanted to push pause in this meeting to give kudos to Chief.
Thank you.
For covering and doing emergency management, because you shifted, you're doing, and just for this elaboration, public safety shifts from public safety to emergency management. So I wanted to give you kudos, sir, because with limited staff, you guys worked that day and provided safety during inclement weather with limited staff. I made note of that. And I just wanted to push pause and say thank you, because we didn't do it last night, but it wasn't that we weren't going to do it. It was just taking us some time to do so. And that goes for the other staff that was, available to make whatever needed to be done. But I wanted to do that because, boots on the ground street, it's different.
Thank you.
So I wanted to personally, and I'm sure Mayor and Council want to do the same thing, but last night was a lot of time being taken up with.
I would like to echo what she said, and I just want to put out there that our police department was out there shoveling driveways and sidewalks as well.
Yeah.
So kudos, yes, definitely kudos.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If there are no other questions, thank you, Chief, for your report. Mr. Pickney, code enforcement? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's pause 1 second, Mr. Pickney. Former Mayor Martin has something for you, Chief.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Chief, I think I had mentioned previously that 6,100 block of 60th Avenue near the Circle and K Street. That stop sign at K Street, I don't know whether that's on your original list, but we need to make sure that we don't miss that. That is one of the most popular non-stopping stop signs in the town.
Okay.
I say 51% of those that come down never
No,
stop.
never stop.
And you know, I watch that from my window.
Right.
So,
Or your front porch, right?
on my front porch.
That's right.
Yeah,
With the door open, I see it.
yeah.
I will put, that was 60th at the Circle, correct?
Yeah, coming down that hill from K Street.
Okay, I got you, Mayor Martin. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Mr. Pinckney? Code enforcement report.
Good evening to the mayor, council, and the citizens and the staff of town of Fairmount Heights.
Good evening.
This is my report for January the 15th, 2025. During this period, we've issued one civil citation totaling $1,000. During this period, we've issued 2 building permits totaling $370.75. During this period, we've issued 1 new business license for a new business called Fish and Sons for $365, and we've issued 1 rental license for $100. We haven't issued any vacant lot registration fees, but we have received $1,000 for late building registration fees. Okay, in addition, I met with the project manager for Warren Builders on January the 2nd, 2025, and we have decided on the relocation of the speed hump at 60th Place. The new location has been marked. It is 10 feet north of the current speed hump. On January the 3rd, myself along with the Mayor Stewart, Town Manager Mrs. Rumi, and our Town Treasurer Mrs. Walker met with Mr. Solomon to discuss his business license and the removal of temporary fencing and the plans for his property. Mr. Hamilton stated that he did not want to sell his business at this time, but he would consider leasing the building at a later date because he wanted to remain in his family. In our December town meeting, I made a suggestions concerning residential parking permits for some areas in the town from Heights. At that time, Mayor Stewart gave me until our March meeting to present a plan for residential parking program. I have discovered that the town already had a residential program, but I don't have the date when it was instituted. And I have a copy of it. This is the program that was already instituted. We probably would have to make some changes and upgrade it.
Is this a part of our town ordinance?
Yeah,
Or-
but I don't know whether it was approved or what. We just found it.
Okay.
So that's some work we don't have to do. We just have to, critique it.
Okay, can you get with Ms. Russell to determine if this was approved or not?
Okay.
Before we say we have a plan in place?
Okay, I'll do that. Okay. Okay, and I have noticed at a house at 57 Place in J Street where I counted 12 vehicles plus a number of mopeds and a box truck. And I don't think that's fair to the residents of that area, right at 57 and J, right on that corner,
That's at the top of my street?
at the top of your street.
Your street breaks off. and it
When you
goes
go down
out,
to the
going
hill?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I counted 12 vehicles yesterday, plus a box truck. It's right on the corner.
On the left-hand side.
On the left-hand side. Plus, I think they're running those mopeds to be delivering for Eat Fast or whatever. Uber Eats.
Uber
Yeah, they
Eat
have a lot of
Fast.
those. Whatever.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I'm sorry, whatever.
Hey, look, that's a new name here. We got a new business, Eat Fast.
Okay, don't y'all take it. I'm gonna incorporate that. Okay, and Councilwoman Downing on yesterday, she left me a text message inquiring about if the town had an ordinance concerning snow removal by the residents. And we do have an ordinance. I think, did you get it, Chief?
Yeah.
Yeah, I sent it to, it's section 302-12, snow and ice on sidewalks, Fairmount Heights Property Maintenance Code. So we already have a code. And I didn't print out the whole code, but if you need it, I can print it out. But we do have a program that the residents have to clean out their sidewalks. And this was written a long time ago, because they were saying you had to put down sawdust or ash. I ain't heard that in years. Ashes, that's way back.
So we need to make some modifications to it.
Yeah, so, something like that. And that's, let me see. And we have issued $1,250 in citations, and we have collected on citations, building permits, business licenses, and rental license, $1,085.75.
Thank you, Mr. Payne.
That's the end of my report. Okay?
Thank you. What is the fine for if you don't shovel? Is there a fine?
It wasn't a fine one, yeah.
It's no fine, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's a fine.
Fine.
Even in the county, I don't
not
think it's a
fine.
fine.
It's no fine.
But you're liable if somebody gets hurt in their property, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the fine.
And then what's your mitigation for the house with the numerous vehicles and mopeds?
Well, we had a domestic call there a couple of weeks ago, and we were able to get some footage since we were on the property. And it looks like the garage is where they use it to do the maintenance on these mopeds. So as we gather more information, then we can hit them with fines through code enforcement. If they're running and operating a business, they can't. So we hit them that way. As far as criminal activity, it's not a criminal activity, it's a civil matter, but it's something that has to come through the town. So we'll look and see what he has on the books and what kind of fines he can run. We need to first find out who owns the house. And then we need to go directly at the owner of the house. If he's renting it out and doesn't have the proper rental license, then that needs to be brought up as well. And fine him for that, and you know what to do.
You have a mitigation plan.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. All right, we're moving down the agenda. Oh, okay, one quick question.
The sidewalks that are on, for instance, this has come up, the sidewalks that, even though there's ordinance in place, the sidewalks that are like Sheriff Road, Addison Road, that's really not in front of.
You're talking about the easement areas.
Huh?
You're talking about the easement areas?
Well, kind of, sort of, yeah, and that are not in front of a property.
That's something public works would have to do.
Is it out?
Even if it's county, and I think that's
You
just.
mean on what side?
On our side, is that our public works that's responsible for the sidewalks?
Or
Does that have a
county.
house in front of it?
Well, just about all the way down we have residents all the way on Sheriff Road from like
Addison.
Balsam Tree. You say Addison?
I said Sheriff and Addison, but so let's go to Sheriff. Let's go to Sheriff.
From Balsam Tree all the way till you get to Addison.
Addison.
You have homes.
Right.
And then from Addison going over down, you have business. You have raw water, then you have the hip hop chicken, so they're responsible for that.
Okay. So then now this is so the parts of Addison coming from Sheriff this way, where there is no home,
Where the library is on that side?
from the library, from the park, coming up, maybe let's just stop at the library, for instance.
Yeah.
That's, are they responsible for that? Or let's just talk about the park. Let's stop at the
That's a county
park.
library, so the county should be responsible for the library portion, and Maryland Park and Planning should be responsible for the sidewalks in front of the park.
Okay.
So if we have to remind them and get a letter out, get notifications, send them that these areas are not done, it's probably better next time. If we have another one, to take pictures and photographs. It's always good to have pictures, and let them know what's going on, that we can go from there.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna move on down to the town manager, Ms. Arumi.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council, and to citizens online, and to citizens and our guests who are present with us today. My report is for the period ending January 8th, 2025. Job vacancies, as of tonight, none. So we just filled that, and thank you, Chief. Okay, Black History Month. Black History Month celebration begins February 1, 2025. Last year, we celebrated by hosting a series of events at Town Hall. We had guest author and lecturer Michael Kent, who wrote a book, and I think I still have it on display out there, Blacks Along the Chesapeake. We also had guest speakers from Prince George's County Historic Preservation Commission. We also served a lunch. This year, I am partnering with the Fairmount Heights Library. We are planning to invite local author and national renowned Jason Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds is from Prince George's County, and he's from Oxon Hill. His close connection with me is his family's from Calvert County, and I went to school with his aunts and his uncles. And so I'm excited about that. He has written 3 books that include Long Way Down, Ghost, and 24 Seconds from Now. Okay, you familiar with that? Good. At very least, maybe we can purchase some books to have a display during the month. Second, I plan to invite, if we can have 2 guests, great, plan to invite Reverend, and he's a delegate, Jeffrey E. Long. Reverend Long has a connection with our own Mark Cargill. They're both young pastors. Okay, and so Reverend Long, Delegate Jeffrey E. Long, friend of Senator Benson, he represents the District 27B, that includes Southern and Arundel County, Calvert, and parts of Prince George's County. And he himself is making Black history. He is the youngest delegate ever elected to the state House of Representatives. And of course, this is pending his availability. As I wrote this report, the legislative session started. That was on the 8th. But I'm feeling hopeful about both of them. Also, some time ago, I talked to you about planning a walking tour, and hopefully we will add 10, 12, 58th Avenue. The house was once known as the William King House. A request was sent to the owner asking to include the house as part of the walking tour. Last year, thank you, Mayor, you participated in the walking tour. I invite all of you to participate in the walking tour. Great history for the town of Fairmount Heights. Ms. Walker, I will get with you concerning the budget. I don't want to overcommit to what I'm going to pay for, but I'll get with you. Last night in the meeting, and I didn't get a chance, but I cannot stop thanking the Department of Public Works for the excellent job with snow removal during the recent snowstorm, other work, and all the other work that they're doing around town that may go unnoticed. And they're very creative. They installed a cover for the salt storage, creating a dome. I think it would have cost $2,000 to do that, but the staff, they're working hard to save money for the town. And I want to also thank you, our treasurer, for the Bobcat. Oh my gosh, it's a new toy. I asked him if I could learn to use it. And all of this is added to the Public Works ability to do a better job in town. For economic and community development, I did submit to the Chesapeake Bay Trust a grant application in the amount of $80,000 for the following. Outreach and communication with non-English citizens. One of the things that I know I enjoy when I sit at the front desk, because I can see some of our material weaknesses, one of the things that I know that with most of the Hispanic families, they come in late in the evening because they need to have an interpreter. They need to have either their children or somebody. So we're looking at getting a communication system where we're going to install phone lines, and school systems do have that, so that we can, so when our non-speaking, English-speaking citizens call in, they're able to interpret, and I'm happy about that. Also, it included in the $80,000 is money to train elected officials, staff, and citizens on the care of 160 trees planted. We have all these trees, and we have created the cooling zones, but now we have to maintain and take care of them. And also, for the
20743 Coalition, I think we already talked about the MOU, so
We're just waiting for you to confirm what the attorney,
okay.
what changes did the attorney make to it.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass this out to all of you. I did. I got with Mr. Jason today because I remember last night you guys asked for this. So if you can just take one and pass it around. And he made all of the, for his legal sufficiency and review, he made all those changes.
Oh, and the document that we have is the changes made?
That would have to come from Mrs. Russell because he sent it to Mrs. Russell to make the changes. But I'll get with her to make certain that that was done. Okay. Okay. It almost finished. Net zero housing update. Warren Bills is working on the final water and sewer connections. The next step is to install sidewalks. Mr. Pinckney already talked about installing the speed hump in front of the homes. Homes will be listed for sale beginning February 1st, 2025. There are 120 people on the interest list maintained by HIP, and they will be contacted first. Applications will be processed to determine eligibility. Any remaining units that will be listed on the open market. I doubt if we have any left. It's a very popular program, and it's to me one of the magnificent projects that I've worked on since I've been here. It has to be the Net Zero Housing Project. It really has done a lot to the town. Mr. Pinckney, did you mention that on 2 days ago you and I met with Mr. Donegan? Okay. Mr. Pinckney and I talked with Mr. Steve Donegan, and Mr. Donegan is the new representative for the sale of property owned by the county. And he sent me an email. I thought I had put it in here. He sent me an email outlining the process to transfer the property. It's going to be a 1.5-year process. And I will forward that to the mayor, to the council, outlining the process. I did ask in the meantime, since we are interested in, I think we want to put up a fence, right, to block off 2 of the lots, that he said, yeah, we could do that in the meantime. But,
He gave us something in writing?
yes, he did. Okay. Yes, he did. Yeah, I will forward that to you. I'm looking to
Are
see
we talking about the parking lot?
Yeah,
Parking lot across the street?
yeah, there
I
are
was confused.
5 lots.
In the parking lot we're talking about? Okay.
Okay, yeah, 5 lots. And so I know for some time, Ms. Walker and I have been working and trying to get the county. Oh, here we go. Okay. This is from Steve M. Donegan. He is, Steve is the Real Estate Development Project and Program Manager. It says, per our conversation, we will begin our review of the 4 lots. I said 4. Lots 30 through 34 that make up 61st Avenue, Fairmount Heights, Maryland, tax ID number, which he gave. The internal office, there's a process, the internal office review, the appropriate county and government agencies review all requests and provide a determination. Determination is to provide or deny the sale, release of the parcels. Appraisal process. If the parcels are approved for sale or lease, RDA, Redevelopment Authority, shall obtain an estimated appraised value of the parcel. After all the appropriate investigations and reviews are complete, a surplus legislation request is submitted to the county council, and the county exec must approve. And I will forward this to you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that concludes my report. I did send all of you a copy of my newsletter. We talked about the newsletter last night. I sent a copy of the newsletter to you guys, and I stated that it's a draft. So if anybody have any comments, I will include you, Mr. Timberlake. Thank you for your email. I will include you on that. And our next Green Team meeting is scheduled for January 23rd, 2025. And so with work items, I will discuss the work items scheduled for 2025. I am excited. I invite all of you to participate in our Green Team because we do exciting things. This year I'm talking about field trips. I know the council member and I, we had a great time in Cambridge. That was a beautiful setting. We got to meet a lot of people. So I encourage all of you to participate on the Green Pig. So it's an exciting chapter for the town, and we will be doing some exciting events. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Rose.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna give you this. Yeah, because I can go back to
I'm
print it.
sorry, we do have one question from Council Member St. John. You have the floor.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm very still uncertain about the area that we're talking about. So we just said 61st, but then we said the parking lot across the street and then 4 lots. So I just want clarity on, are we talking about certain areas within the parking lot over there?
What I can do, I can give you a copy or printout.
Thank you.
We're talking about the whole parking lot.
Okay.
So the parking lot, there's 2 lots that we own.
Right.
Then there's 4 lots that the county owns.
Oh, that's right.
We're asking for the county to convey that to us.
The whole full
Right.
thing.
We're already using that for
Right.
our vehicles.
Right.
We have also confirmed that the resident whose property is congruent to that, that their, not to say his, the property owner's driveway is actually towards the front of the house.
Right.
It's not towards the back of the house. But we have to send a letter to that property owner, let that property owner know that the area they have been parking on is owned by the county. The county has given us the right to use that whole area, and we will be securing that area. They will need to move their vehicles. We won't secure it until we have taken those steps, let that resident know.
Right.
And then giving them time to do what they need to do so that they can have access on the other side where their property is. The most time that we discussed in the past that we would give them would be 60 days. And now for us, it's even more important that we move expeditiously and that they move expeditiously because we have the equipment.
Yeah.
And we also have let the renters know that we are no longer bringing parking lot space. And so we're asking them to remove their vehicles by the end of this month. So that's where we're talking about. It's the area, the entire parking lot, that's the area we're talking about.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rose. Okay, Mayor Mark, come on.
Okay.
You know the rules. Mayor Mark, you know
Yeah, just on the pricing now for the net zero homes, originally we had gotten the information it was gonna be like $250,000, but I know normally as the items are completed, the price increases. So what is the final asking price now?
Okay, I'm gonna have to send you a breakdown because eligibility is based on your income. It's based on your income. So it's the same formula used for Section 8. So you pay 30% of your adjusted income. So only the people who would be at market value, that price will apply. Other than that, it's based on your income. That's a very good interesting. Okay, very good. Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor, former Mayor Martin. Now we're down to the Treasurer's Report. Susan, Ms. Walker.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, citizens, and staff. I'm Susan Walker, reporting for the end of December 2024. Our fiscal year ends in June, and so we are halfway through our fiscal year. I'm going to summarize the information that I gave in detail for the last night's meeting. Our general revenue, which includes revenue from our property taxes, our building permits, our registrations, which Mr. Pinckney had mentioned. Ms. Russell, do you have the copy from last night that you can put on that you can share, please? It should be the FY25 budget. And while she's bringing that up, I'll just continue. So our approved budget for general revenue is $687,126. 6 months into the year, we have received $468,659. From our intergovernment transfers, and this is income that we received from the state of Maryland for police aid, the income that we receive for our income taxes, our state highway user fees, we budgeted $280,262. We so far have received $153,076. So from those two areas, that's where we receive most of our income for the town of Fairmount Heights, would be from our property taxes, our building permits, operating properties, and then also from our intergovernment transfers. Our other area that we receive income from is, we have it classified as other revenue, and we budgeted $59,113. As of the end of December, we have received $20,672. We talked last night about the cable franchise, and so we do receive money. If you can see what's on the screen, account 4510, it says cable franchise, Verizon and Comcast. And so Mr. Rumi had mentioned last night that we do receive money from Verizon and Comcast, and that's where we have that money allocated. And we also receive income from our police department. And so for fiscal year 25, we budgeted $129,700. As you can see, part of that revenue it includes anticipated revenue from our speed cameras, our stoplight camera program, and our red light camera program. So far, we have received $3,950 from that. So our total income as of the end of December, Ms. Russell, can you please slide down so they can see the next section? Thank you, right there. The total received is $646,357. I think you went just a little bit too far. You can slide back up a little bit, please. Yes, okay, so you can see the total revenue as of the end of December. Again, we budgeted $1,156,000, and we received $646,000. Next, we have our expenditures, and so for our admin department, which includes our town administration, so our town clerk, our town manager, myself, and then also our professional fees for our payroll company, our legal, our attorney, our website hosting, our IT, and then other, our insurance. All of that falls under our administration department. And we budget $237,000 for the entire year. So far, we have spent $65,335. You can slide down a little bit, Ms. Russell, please. I'm on page 2 now. Yes, right there. Nope, go back one page. Okay. I'm sorry. Our next section is our election, and I need to confirm this, but I do believe that we possibly have to have an election this year. I need to confirm which seats are up for this year. And so, Mayor, before our next meeting, we will confirm if there's an election this year or if it's next year. My records may be a little off, but if it's not this year, then it's going to be next year that we have an election. Okay? All right. Our next section, Ms. Russell, can you go to the next page, please? No, the page before that, please. Okay, I'm sorry. Yep, stay right there. Stay right there. Okay, and then can you just slide down just a little bit so I can see legislation? So our next section this is the mayor and council. We budgeted $58,850. As of the end of December, we have spent $11,734. I'm going to pause right here. Mr. Rumi mentioned the Black History Month program, and so I'm going to remind the mayor and council, because we are 6 months into the year, starting next month, and at the latest it will be March, we need to start planning for next year's budget. Last year I requested it and we didn't do it, and so I'm going to request it again this year, that you plan the events and you plan the programs, and we have the budgets in place before we get to the event. And this is no shot at Mr. Rumi or anybody else, but we are less than 30 days out from Black History Month, and this is too late for us to be trying to figure out what our budget's going to be for an event. And we also have to remember that we talked about being program-focused versus being event-focused. So now is the time to please start looking at your different committees that you chair, as well as the programs that we have talked about, because this is your section, and this is where we would be focusing on some of those programs for next year. Also, MML. This is definitely at the discretion of the mayor and council, but I will encourage the mayor and council to have some conversations about what's going to happen for MML this year. MML is extremely expensive, and right now we do not have the budget for all of the council and for several members of staff to attend. So it's important that we look at what courses are they offering at MML, and what courses can we, and what will we benefit from? And coming out of MML, what are we bringing back? So it's not just going to MML, but are we bringing something back and then implementing what we're bringing back? So I know this may step on a few toes, but we really have to have these conversations, because we really cannot afford to send the entire council and then to send several members from staff. However, if there are areas within the staff that we see where we need professional development or we need training, if we can't find that at MML, perhaps we can find it somewhere else, and let's identify that now so we can put that into the budget. But again, I have had this conversation with the mayor. I did tell her I was going to say something about this, because it's a lot. MML is a lot of money, and we're not bringing back a lot of information from MML. We're going, but we're not coming back, bringing anything back and implementing it. So we need to take a look at that. Our next session is the municipal, and it really covers our building. And so that's for our utilities, our security of the building, our internet, our cable TV station, and then our IC, our inter-county broadband network. After that, we have our public safety department, which is our police department. I remind mayor and council that part of the ARPA funds have been allocated for public safety. So for the remaining part of fiscal year 25, as well as 2026, we do have approximately a little over $200,000 that's allocated to salaries for the police department, as well as salaries for public works. And so it will not cover all of the salaries for either department, but it will be there to supplement, which will allow both departments to expand if needed. And so if by chance everything is consumed, say for instance by the police department, that's not a bad thing, because that means it frees up some of the money that we allocated from our own coffers for the police department to then reallocate that money to our public works department. And so as we increase the public works department, as we increase the public safety department, that allows us to do more for the citizens. And that is our goal, is to be more outwardly focused and be able to service the community at a larger level. And so as of the end of December, we have a net income of $342,329. So it is always good when we can report that we have a net income. And as we get into the summer, this is the time that I will always say, now is when we really have to be careful, because we have received the bulk of the money that we're going to receive from our taxes. And so the summer months, we have to be able to get through the entire summer and get to the fall before we get our next large deposit from any type of tax money. As far as projects, we have finalized everything for the sign, so everything has been signed off on. They are creating our sign, they are manufacturing it, and we have to do our part, which is we have to lay the platform and get everything in place. They will walk us through that process and so then we'll have our sign. We also have finalized the contract for the audiovisual equipment. I know you keep hearing me say this, but we had some things we had to work out with them, and I really thank Mr. Williams, Jay Williams, but he was very helpful in working to help get everything back and forth to the vendor, and so he will be on site when the equipment is installed. We also, Ms. Sarumi, I cannot thank her enough. She has worked hard, and she worked today with Jay because we needed to activate our bond. My hands were tied. I couldn't do anything until we activated that bond to draw down the money that we've already spent in the basement. And so now that we can draw that money down, we can now start the process for the bathrooms up here. And we will then be able to bring the vendor in to do the doors. I could not, in good faith, do anything spending money that, though we had it, we needed to receive it. I didn't want to keep spending money and not be 100% sure that we could get back what we spent. But now that we can be sure we can get that money back, then we can now move forward. So within the next couple months, we'll see things begin to move forward. As I close, I will say that one of the things I think that would be nice for us to take a look at, not that we need to add anything else to our plate, but would be to look at doing an actual flag, I guess, stand out front. Many municipalities have 3 flagpoles. We have 1 with 3 flags on it. It'd be nice to have a pole for the county, a pole for the United States, and then a pole for the town of Fairmount Heights. It doesn't have to be a lot. If you look at some municipalities, it's small, probably isn't as big as this table, but it really would make the front of the building look nice. So that's something I'd like for us to consider as we move into the next budget season. Okay? All right.
Susan, I know last night you talked about this Bobcat, but
Yes.
some people that were on last night may have not been on tonight.
So,
but can you please just give a brief overview of some of the things this Bobcat can do for the town?
Okay, so we did with the help of Mr. Cradle, which I thank him, we did secure Bobcat. And so that will allow us, one, it helps us with clearing snow because we have 2 vehicles. We now have the Bobcat, which will allow us to clear parking lots and small areas. That will also allow us to maintain the alleys, and that is a big deal for us. We have been blessed with Mr. Sterling to go in and to clean the alleys, and we need to maintain them. And we now are able to maintain those alleys. We will also be able to lay our own milling, which will again help us to maintain those areas. We will also be able to use the Bobcat for the 4.4 acres. And then for other areas that we have overgrowth, Mr. Meany talks about invasive plants and invasive foliage all the time. And so areas that we identify where we need to clear, we're now able to do that. We also are able to load our own salt. So versus us having to go back and forth to the salt dome, we can store our own salt and then load our salt. And lastly, it will allow us to lift heavy equipment. Because when we got that truck and we got the spreader, we were unaware of the weight of that spreader. And that spreader is a couple thousand pounds. And our staff they've been lifting that by themselves, like all of them together. We can now do that safely with that piece of equipment. So a lot of attachments to go with it. We're going to do everything we're supposed to do to make sure that we have everything secured. But that piece of equipment it's going to really save us some money on things that we're currently outsourcing. We will now be able to train our staff and then have them to do some of the things that we have been outsourcing. And it should help us with our garden on the 4.4 acres too, because we can clear we can clear some area for our own garden. So grow our own food and keep things right here in the town and feed our own citizens. We won't be a food desert if we can help ourselves. Mm-hmm. Amen. All right.
Thank you, Susan.
Okay, thank you.
Your report. All right, so we're going to go down this agenda to mayor and council reports. I'm going to start with Councilman Oscar.
Just like to say Happy New Year to the town residents, and looking forward to bigger and better things this year. Councilmember St. John made mention of several things that we have planned for the youths, and I'm looking forward to partner with her and make all those things a reality. Of course, I'd like to appeal to the town and the residents to, be mindful of the events that we're planning, and if we could have better participation to encourage everyone that's actually, doing the planning and, bringing the kids through, and so that everybody benefits mutually from the events. And I'll take time off to actually read what I was talking about last night regarding the cotillion for the youth. So the MNCPPC, Department of Parks and Recreation, Prince George's County, is proud to host the 2025 MNCPPC Teen Cotillion, a timeless tradition that celebrates leadership, etiquette, and personal growth. We are currently accepting applications for teens ages 15 to 18 to participate in this transformative 12-week program, culminating in an unforgettable evening of elegance and celebration on May 17, 2025. This cherished event provides teens with confidence building and leadership skills, lessons in formal etiquette and social protocols, and a lifelong friendships and memories. The deadline to apply is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. So this is a very, I would say, productive event for the youths in Fairmount Heights and Capitol Heights on a whole. And if there are any children in this area that are interested in sending in an application, I would strongly recommend that. Thank you. That's all I have.
Is there a cost associated with it?
No, it's taken care of by the county itself.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
So no cost associated.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Waiters.
Good evening, everyone. Mine's very brief. So, liaison of the senior, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Just barely.
You're here. I was saying, now, good evening, everyone. My report is going to be brief. So being the liaison of the citizens, senior, I have looked up a few things, and I'm going to give my report in a funny kind of way. And we're in last year, my son gave me a tile. And that tracks either your keys or your phone. And my response was, what are you trying to say? Because, we tend to get offended. But actually, at this particular time in my life, I have a problem in my own home finding my phone and my keys. And so, considering being one of the club, I considered, and having conversations with my son, and some of the things that we overlook when we think either that we don't qualify for or we just don't apply for because we're not privy to the information. So I looked up, one was getting financial help at a time such as this, and more getting financial help and more with PEPCO's new assistance finding program. So I have a link for that. It's too much to show right now. The second thing that I did look up was, and I did not print it because it's Prince George's County Senior Resource Guide, had a lot of links and pages to it. So I think it was 64 pages, so I did not. But it does have several things like one particular thing, you can get assistance with decluttering. Some of the things that we hate to let go. Another thing that I have, some of the things that we don't want to talk about, but it's good not to consider with our demise, but estate planning workbook, legal shield, your will questionnaire, and also life care planning. These are all just guides, not to implement anything, but just to get you thinking about things that you need to put in place concerning your loved ones and/or things that you need to, again, not to meet your demise, but things that you probably cannot handle anymore that you need assistance with, particularly protecting your assets. So I got that. And then the last thing, I don't know whether I can or not, but in conversations, and I shared with Mayor Martin and also, Madam Mayor. Mayor Stewart.
That's fine. It's a room full of mayors.
Yes. I'm sorry. So I shared with Mayor Stewart, and also I think it was shared with Councilmember St. John, a video per conversations with Ms. Sarumi and kind of sort of putting a thought process of getting something together for Black History Month. So I'm a gadget kind of graphic kind of person, creative, and I created a video. I don't know whether I can show it or not.
Not at this time.
Okay.
Until
so
we make some revisions.
Changes. Okay, so one of the concerns with that, and was mine too, is that it does depict the history of the town of Fairmount Heights from beginning to end, but the visual pictures are not relevant to our community.
Right.
Images. And so the mayor's concern is that we collect pictures to put in, and I did do the research and found out that we can insert pictures in there that replicate our community physically as well as the narration.
Yes.
So yeah.
So and maybe we can even reach out to Mr. Cradle to take some drone shots as well.
Yeah.
So we definitely could do that, but I did like the video.
Okay.
The audio was phenomenal.
And let me see. Thank you, Madam Mayor. The last thing I wanted to say was the day that, in all due respect, that I found out that President Carter had passed on. It was sensitive, but then at the same time, my mind was reflective to, one, being respectfully that we do. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Madam Clerk, please don't show the video.
Yeah, not yet. I'm sorry.
We want to make some changes to it, so please do not display the video. Thank you.
Sorry. What was I saying?
Jimmy Carter.
Oh, yes. So we, thank you, Madam Mayor, for raising the flags at half-staff. But I wanted to make mention that some years ago, we were excited about Habitat for Humanity, our first home, being here. And that home was, in purchasing my first home, or renting my first home here in the town of Fairmount Heights, I lived next door to Bernice Wallace. She's actually out there on one of our bulletins in the picture as a former community advocate, kind of, I don't know if she's a council member or not. That was the first one. The second Habitat for Humanity's home.
Oh, yeah, Councilman Oscar. You live in a Habitat for Humanity. Yes, you're the second one. That's right.
One of our council members happens to live in, so I find it an honor to be able to say that we have 2 homes in our community. We were trying to find out how many more we had, but just to say that we have Habitat for Communities here, that we are part of that era, and then to say that we have a council member and leader that happens to live in one, I just wanted to make mention of that, and that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Historic community in the making.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll let us take some pictures of his home.
Maybe so.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Waiters. Councilwoman St. John? Oh, no. No, she all right. She know. I done gave. Councilwoman St. John, you have the floor.
All right, good evening, everyone. Happy New Year to anyone that wasn't present in last night's meeting. So I'll run through my report really quick. I was able to provide in extensive detail yesterday kind of a 90th anniversary update. So the outcome of that is we will be holding a committee meeting next week to expedite kind of the process and make some bigger decisions specifically around the budget, the date and location. So just due to some staggeredness kind of in putting things together, we want to kind of just sit back, start at the drawing board to get these three things in place so that we're able to move forward with the planning and getting something special going. I am also currently, I forgot to mention yesterday, but currently working on the town communications backdrop. This is something that we'll be able to use for like press release, events, sponsorships, partnerships, things of that nature. So the designs are good to go. At the next town work session, I will be presenting them to you guys and asking you guys to choose one and then hopefully be able to vote on them in the town meeting so we can have it by February. So it'd be nice to have for whatever we have planning for Black History Month. January the 9th, I did attend the Municipal Focus Group along with Mayor Stewart. This is something that is geared for still 20743, the Central Avenue Blue Line Sector Plan, where we kind of went through in detail some of the plans in kind of the areas. While it doesn't directly affect Fairmount Heights because we're not right there on Addison Road. Of course, we don't have a lot of businesses, so we shop there, we go there. So they did recognize that our input is very valuable. So definitely something the mayor and I will continue to be a part of, and hopefully other council members can join as well. Outside of that, that is really all I have to report. We're still continuing to do the food giveaways every first and second Sunday. We're still getting a good amount of people, even though it's still been very, very cold. We still like to ask for volunteers, people to help, and people to shop. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman St. John. All right, again, I'm just gonna reiterate, we did attend that meeting. We got a lot of valuable information and provided a lot of valuable input to the county on what we thought or what we envisioned this 2074, I mean, not the 20743, what this project should look like and how it will affect the town of Fairmount Heights. Councilwoman Waiters and I attended a holiday party. It was 70s and 80s themed. We competed in the contest. Who was dressed the best? Your mayor won. Yes, but it was a very nice event. It was hosted by the Black Mayors Association, and it was very nice. A lot of people showed up. We also won Best Table Decoration, so it was a really nice event. I've been working at the food giveaway first and second Sunday. Please come out and support. These are very trying times. Ends are not meeting. The food is very good. It is, you remember, it's coming from a grocery store, so it is on its last leg, but it looks good. You can get some good days out of it if you take it home and cook it right away. So please don't hesitate. If any kids are looking for any community service hours, please come. We can use all the support we can get. What else did we do? PGCMA meeting is coming up tomorrow. Councilwoman Waiters will attend that on behalf of the town of Fairmount Heights. And one other announcement, former Councilwoman Leftwich has resigned from her seat on the council, so we will be putting out an announcement to fill her seat, I guess, within the next couple of days. We are very sorry to see her go. In her letter, she just said she has some personal issues that took precedent over being on the council, and we wish her the best of luck. That concludes my report. So now we can move down under any unfinished business. The only unfinished business we have left is the Comcast franchise agreement, and we're just waiting on you to get us the contract, right?
I sent it, so.
What are you waiting on the council to?
Yeah.
Just to approve it, okay. All right, you sent it to us yesterday, right?
Yeah.
How soon do we need to get this back? How soon do we need to approve this?
You give me a time frame, that will work.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask the staff, please, if you need the council to approve something, you can't give it to us the day before it. We have to get it at least a week and a half at the most, so that they'll have a time to review it and have input.
Pre-work session for February?
Yeah, pre-work session for February is the earliest we can put that back on the agenda. Okay? St. John, you didn't mention potential programs.
I was like, yeah, if you want to give me the flow, I can bring that back up.
So go ahead under unfinished business.
Okay, thank you. So sorry, guys. So I did forget to mention, in the very early stages of trying to form one of the first programs that we'll have going into 2025, this will kind of tie into the youth. So I am partnering with the town of, we are the town. I'm partnering with Fairmount Heights High School, and hoping that we all can collaborate to have some of the students come over there, envisioning being able to roll this out to other places, but definitely starting first with our school, the Fairmount Heights, and then what we're looking to do is two separate things. One would be to join the youth council. With the youth council, I know that's something that we have talked about, and we decided to remove the line item because we wasn't using anything for that budget-wise, but being able to bring that back and see what type of potential we can get out of that. Having people join our committees has been something we've really been struggling with. So if we can actually get students who want to be involved, who actually show interest in any of these areas, it will be really good for them and then also beneficial for us. One of the second things would be just being able to offer the school a place where students can get their community service hours. So not necessarily being a part of a committee, but just any type of ad hoc task we may have around just creating kind of programs or opportunities for them to come participate, whether that be some type of class, some type of group discussion, or if we actually have them being able to do some type of assistance where they can gain knowledge in whatever field they're looking to be in. So I have made contact already with the vice principal, the actual principal, and the community engagement manager. So we should be planning a meeting between the first and second week of February, so we can kind of roll out and plan what this plan should be. So very, very excited about that. Hopefully it'll be something that can kind of cover grounds in a lot of areas, and out of that come some other ideas and other programs that we can potentially have going forward. And that is it. Thank you for reminding me.
All right, under unfinished business, we also have the adoption of the 207-43 coalition. Mr. Romy did just give us a copy because Councilwoman Downing asked for what was the changes made to the MOU. Everybody was provided with a copy. I'm gonna have Ms. Russell go ahead and make these changes and then send out the final copy for us to review. And then I'm assuming we can put this back on the agenda for February and hopefully get it approved. We talked about neighborhood signs for the disabled and impaired. We're looking for additional information as to the wording on that sign and the costs associated with that. So I'm going to wait to, we're going to wait till we receive more information to move forward with that project. The MLK Day, we currently do not have anything scheduled for MLK. If First Baptist Church of Fairmount Heights is listening, Pastor Winchester, we was hoping that you would want to do that march again. It was a nice march last year. We was hoping you was going to do it again this year. So hopefully next year we'll put that back on their calendar. All right. I don't think we have anything under new business. Any announcements that we need to make?
I would like to make an announcement.
Okay, Councilwoman.
So the town of Capitol Heights, they are having a coat drive. Their coat drive is on January the 16th. That coat drive will be from 2 to 4 or while supplies last. So if you missed ours, or know people that need coats, you can go there. I don't think there's any sign up required for that. The address is 1 Capitol Heights Boulevard, and again, that's going to be January the 16th from 2 to 4. And that is it.
All right, and then I just had one other thing I wanted to read off. I would like to read off on behalf of the town of Fairmount Heights. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the Public Works Department for their outstanding support with the snow removal. Their dedication and hard work have ensured that our roads and walkways remain safe and accessible for residents and visitors alike. This challenging winter season, hopefully we won't get no more, knock on some wood. Your efforts often carried out in difficult conditions. You do not go unnoticed, and we deeply appreciate your commitment to serving our community. Thank you for going above and beyond and keeping the town of Fairmount Heights moving. And I think the council supports has the same sentiments as that. So thank you again, and to the police department. I will not go without thanking them too, because they had to come out here and still take calls for service in this weather too. So thank you to the police department and our public works staff. Oh, me. Oh, me. So now we're going to open it up for questions from the public. Are there any questions from the public?
Would you like to, this is for Ms. Clark, this is for Mr. Pinckney. Did you receive the USB thumb drive that she left with Ms. Hodge showing the video footage of the neighbor, Mr. Quander of Addison Road, illegally dumping yard waste onto my property in the town Iley?
We'll make sure, we'll ask Mr. Pinckney to follow up with that, and we'll get back to you on that, Ms. Clark. Are there any other questions?
Okay.
Are there any other questions? Online? Don't be shy. All right, are there any questions in the room here?
Mayor,
Oh, come on up, Mayor Martin.
I really don't need to be, I just,
You know you want that. This seat was calling you.
I just wanted to say thanks so very much to Public Works for the wonderful job that they did when our weather turned bad, because I know that is one of the greatest things that if you have someone that can come along and make sure your streets, your sidewalks and everything, that they're looking well, it is a blessing in disguise. And I just wanted them to know how we felt. And when I say that, I said I'm always on that corridor.
We know.
On that 60th Avenue corridor, making sure that things go well. And then, I just normally call here and say, like I noticed this, or I'll talk to the chief. But it's a good feeling to know that these kind of things matter. And I wanted to say to Councilmember St. John, I think you must have been the person who lit the tree in the middle of Market Circle. And to me, that was really monumental, because I can never remember when we had some lights on that tree. Even though we've had little trees in that circle that could have happened, but to actually go the extra mile and put it up, I wanted to say thank you for that. And I wanted to just encourage you all. I know that you have a big turnover, and a lot of times you feel like you're just working in vain, because it's a thankless job. But just hang on in there, because help is on the way.
Yeah.
We have to groom up some people who are going to keep this process going, because our town is so valuable that we cannot lose it. So just keep on working, and then pretty soon we'll get reinforcements and someone else will step up and say, I will help. So thank you all for that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment? One, real quick. Mine's always real quick.
No,
They
they're
are.
not. Come on, Councilwoman.
This one
Wade.
is.
1 minute.
1 minute. 30 seconds.
Okay, 30 seconds.
Mayor Stewart,
Yes.
boots on the ground.
Thank you.
I don't want to close out with us saying to you, it takes a lot to walk boots on the ground, or to be, and I want to commend you while you're commending everybody else for being out there in the storm with Public Works.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I actually had more fun than they did.
So I just want to end by saying this: every time it snows, we just get prepared to make sure that public safety is okay. And I'm always ready to put that pot of beans on.
Yes. Yes.
Make sure we're taking care of them while they're out there. But yeah, I wanted to commend you.
Thank you.
Less than 30 seconds.
Thank you. All right, so if there are no...
Don't block your blessings.
I ain't blocking your blessings. AARP know what's going on over there. If there are no other questions, comments, or concerns, I will accept a motion for adjournment. Oh, wait a minute. Department of Transportation for the signs for help and vision impaired residents.
Oh, I think she's asking about what you kind of...
Check with the Department of Transportation for the sign. Okay. Yes. Councilwoman Wade, did you see that advice? Okay.
Yes.
All right, she got it, Ms. Clark. Thank you. All right, so if there are no other questions, comments, or concerns, I will accept that motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a great evening, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Good meeting.
Good meeting.
Thank you. Hour and a half. We did.
We get one more like this.